Hey everybody, it's your guest here, JB, here for CatSynth TV. Today we're going to be looking at Dystonia, a collection of string quartets by the composer JG Thirlwell. Before we get started on that, I want to ask you to please subscribe to this channel for more cultural content coming out regularly. Please consider underwriting the efforts. There are links to Patreon and Ko-Fi below. You can see it there. And if you like what you see here, please do share out this video. The whole idea is to get the word out. Okay, let's dive right into this. Dystonia, a new collection of string quartets by the composer JG Thirlwell and performed by the Mivos Quartet. JG Thirlwell, we've covered his works a number of times on this channel. You may remember some of these other reviews we did for the album he did with Simon Steensland. We'll put a link up there. We also did a review of Zordox, his more electronic kind of thing. There's another link up above. But this one, we're going in a different direction here. Just for a little bit of context, once again, JG Thirlwell, composer, kind of came to wider recognition, most widely recognized perhaps for the work he does under the moniker Fetus and various permutations thereof. He's been working in music since late 70s, early 80s at least. He does a lot of soundtrack work, kind of most notably for the Venture Brothers and Archer. But right here we got something kind of concentrating on his string quartet writing. Mivos Quartet, the string quartet on here, I know a little bit of their work from, they did an album of Steve Reich's string quartets a while back, so I was a little bit familiar with their stuff. Heard an NPR Tiny Desk concert where they actually did a Henry Threadgill piece, which was really fascinating. So let's take a look at this. First of all, let's just look at the cover here, Dystonia. You can tell right off the bat it's a JG Thirlwell thing because we got those three colors that we kind of associate with all of his kind of graphic design. We got the red, white, and black. You can see it here and on the disc. We've got 5 compositions on here. Interestingly, the first 2 compositions seem to be named after afflictions of some sort. The third one, Ozymandias, after the great king, which I believe that's the kind of Greek version of Ramses, if I'm not mistaken. You can go ahead and leave me a note down there in the comments. And the last 2 are named after fears of sorts. Not sure, you know, how the naming came about. I'm not sure the sequence of the composition of these things, but I'll tell you this much. The way that the album itself is sequenced is just incredible because each composition builds upon the last. Let's take a look at them one by one. The opener right here, which is called Narcolepsy. Interesting piece, reminds me quite a bit, and I think other reviewers have picked up on this a little bit about the Bela Bartok, of course, string quartets. You hear a bit of that. The playing itself is kind of done al pesante, you know, with that very, you know, kind of dragging the bow. You get that really kind of, ooh, you know, you get that little kind of gritty sound on it. Fascinating stuff. The second piece is Fibrositis. A little bit of, you know what it reminded me? Some of the extended techniques of something you'd hear on like a George Crumb kind of piece. There's a lot of harmonics and plucking. I got to give a big shout out to the production and engineer on this particular album because you hear every little nuance of those tiny little sounds, little knocks and the harmonics on that, the ghostly sort of harmonics on there. Third track, Ozymandias, look upon my works, ye mighty, and despair. Am I right? Am I right? Ozymandias, this piece is just, you know, like I said, they keep building. The whole thing kind of snowballs for me, and it just picks up momentum as it goes on. Love the first 2 pieces. The third piece, I love it even more. I'm telling you, you know, we get some of the lyricism in there. As things go on, you know, because of, I associate a lot of what Thirlwell does with his soundtrack work. I hear bits of Bernard Herrmann or even the great Jerry Goldsmith in there, the way some of the ostinatos are used and the way the kind of melodic cells are expanded. I hear a little bit of that in there. Amazing stuff. The fourth piece on there, Heliophobia. Really interesting. You know, I read another review of this album while I was waiting for my copy to arrive in the mail, you know what I'm talking about? And I think it was on the BBC reviewer, made a passing reference to Shostakovich, and I think they may have been thinking about this particular piece. This piece is different than the pieces that precede it. There's that sort of plangent lyricism coming on there, you know, sounds very kind of late romantic influenced kind of thing, kind of, you know, oh, the emotions welling up, very, you know what I'm saying, very Russian sounding at times. Amazing stuff, but it's the final piece on here, Apeirophobia, where everything that came before, it's just, my goodness, it's like, every time I get a new thing by JG Thirlwell, I'm prepared to be surprised. And I'm telling you, without fail, I am surprised. So am I surprised that I'm not surprised, or am I surprised that I am surprised? And I don't know. We can go through the logical twists and turns about that at the end. But I'm telling you, this piece, this is just like, my goodness, you know. I expect great things, and right here, it's like, this is like the writing's at a whole different level. You know, and it sounds like a cliche to say that, took it to a whole new level, man, and all that. But no, really, this is an amazing piece of music. And I look forward to what he comes up with next, because I can't wait. I can't wait to hear what's next. You know what I mean? It's just like the 5 pieces on here, perfectly programmed, perfectly sequenced, but it's like at the same time, I want more. I want more. And it's like, that's the best thing, man. I'm telling you, you know, I can't say enough about this. Let's just take a look at the graphic design a little bit here on the disc. As I said, you know, you see the red, white, and black on there. Thirlwell is a bit of a polymath in addition to being a composer and so forth. He also does the graphic design on his albums. Excellent, excellent stuff. Well worth seeking out if you want adventurous new music. If you're a fan of JG Thirlwell and you want something a little bit, you know, off to a different angle from his, I mean, you know, you hear a little bit of this kind of stuff that he does with Manorexia, one of his other projects and so forth, but this one is kind of the full immersion into the contemporary composition field, and I'm telling you, it's worth checking out. Please do.
To find out more about Dystonia by JG Thirlwell, please visit his websites and check out the description below this video. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe to CatSynth TV.
Hey, you're watching CatSynth TV!